poisoned Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny has come out of an induced coma. That's according to the Berlin hospital he's in. For more on this, we're joined now by CBC's Chris Brown from Moscow. Good to see you, Chris, with the latest on this. What exactly is the hospital now saying about Navalny?
Well, they're saying what no doubt his friends and family are going to hear is good news. The hospital is saying that, as you say, he is now out of a coma, that his ventilator is slowly being removed and he is responding to verbal stimuli. All good. However, they're also saying in their release that there is no word yet on what his long-term prognosis is. And that, of course, is because he was viciously, seriously attacked by a weapons-grade nerve agent. Navalny was on a flight over Siberia on August the 20th. If the pilot hadn't have landed that flight, he probably would be dead by now. About 17 hours afterwards, he was airlifted to the hospital in Berlin, and doctors there have taken samples of his blood. They've taken samples of his skin and his urine, and they've also found what they believe is Novichok in a water bottle that he was drinking as well. So that is why the German government has said it is conclusive proof that he was poisoned with Novichok. Russian authorities have denied that. They've come up with all kinds of everything from excuses, saying that, well, it was probably a metabolic, it was some kind of blood disorder perhaps, had too much sugar. They've also suggested maybe the Germans somehow poisoned him on the airplane, maybe the CIA did it, all of which, of course, sound like pretty flimsy excuses. Navalny was not a popular figure at all. He, in many parts of the Russian government, he'd made a lot of enemies with the Kremlin elite over his investigations into corruption at the very highest levels of the Russian government. So there would have been no shortage of people who might want to see him dead.
And Chris, what is today's news likely to mean for the investigation into his poisoning and then the international response to it?
Well, they may affect, this news may affect the calculus that goes into what kind of sanctions, if any, that Western nations might impose on Russia. Now, we know that NATO has already met. There have been very strong statements of condemnation from many of the NATO foreign ministers saying you cannot have a country use a weapons-grade nerve agent on an opposition figure and simply allow that to go. Germany is being watched the most closely. They have a lot invested in Russia. There's a natural gas pipeline, Nord Stream 2, which is being built right now. It's almost finished. And the German Chancellor Angela Merkel has always said that this project will not be considered in any kind of political equation to do with Russia. Her tone on that has noticeably changed in the last few days. Now, even though this news is very good for Navalny's family, with that cautionary note, we are still no closer, obviously, to learning who exactly did this to him.
Chris, thank you for the latest on this. CBC's Chris Brown joining us from Moscow.